This is the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast, with a combined age of 111 years and a combined IQ right in that same range. Your hosts, Frank and Carlo Russo. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys.
We are here, the episode 6? 6.
Oof.
Nobody's even seen 4 or 5, but we're just trying to get ahead. So
we're back for 6.
Yes, we are back for 6.
That's good.
Very excited to be back. This is week 23
already.
It's moving. It's flying by.
Yeah.
It is flying by. Even with thinking back through everything that has happened as a part of this whole thing, it absolutely is flying by. So, what's the latest update?
Let's figure it out.
Less appetizing this week than we've had in previous weeks.
Yeah.
It's an ear of corn. So my little girl is the size of an ear of corn.
I love corn. I know I keep saying I love everything that
you do. So far, you like a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You must be very healthy.
But no, I'm not. But I love it. I love it with hamburgers and pizza.
Okay, hamburgers, pizza.
So she's the size of a lean
an ear of corn.
Ear of corn.
Ear of corn. Long and lean. So this is the point, though, where she will start to get chubbier. So basically, she starts to get...
The corn's going to pop.
Yes, cute. She's going to get cuter from here.
Cuter face.
But also a unique thing right now, still translucent.
Oh.
I don't know how
that's her superpower.
That's it. She can just disappear.
She's an X-Men woman.
That's it. So it's still translucent, but that's where we are.
Really?
That's where we are. Yeah. 23 weeks,
okay.
Ear of corn, long and lean, starting to get chubby.
Translucent.
Which would be supported by some of the things we'll talk about later with Kelly's new dining habits.
Okay. Can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, it's going well. We're going to try out now. I figured this would come. Mm-hmm. We even talked about it a little bit, but more from thinking of Trina in the last episode. Okay. But it is, as I go through and edit, Kelly wants to be helpful, and she listens and watches and points out, as she does throughout my regular life, when I'm wrong.
Okay.
So this is going to be a new segment. I'm not sure what we're going to call it.
Okay.
Maybe it just, she suggested, because I almost never say it, that we just call it I Was Wrong.
I was wrong.
So here we are.
I mean, that's right to the point.
Yeah.
I was wrong. So at this moment, it's called I Was Wrong. Until we come up with a better thing.
It might be the permanent name by the time we get through post-production.
Here's another contest. No, I'm kidding.
No more contest. So I was wrong. Here we are.
Okay.
So the few things that we figured out, if you recall back to, I'm not sure what episode, we talked about meconium.
Yes, I thought
not
it was
krypton,
that one
not
killed
kryptonite.
Yeah, Superman.
Meconium, and Kelly thought it was important for me to point out that if they do happen to, the meconium comes out in the womb, because it could happen there or in the birth canal or later.
Because we said prior to this, it's okay anywhere.
Yes,
right.
And
so there's new information.
Apparently it is not. So
no, really.
That's a bit, yeah. So it is basically, if it happens in the womb, it is a sign of fetal distress. So that's not a good thing. So that if that happens, not a good thing. So there's I was wrong there. The other thing, just in the last episode, we were talking about Mama and Dada. And
we were talking about names. Yeah.
And I was wrong there too, because I said I thought that Mama was the easy one, but no, M's are much harder to say than D's.
So was I right?
So Dada.
New segment. I was right.
It's not just that I was wrong. Carlo was right.
But then he also said clock first.
That's right. Clock. That's right. So Dada is the easy one, not the Mama.
Okay.
And the last thing was when we were talking about the fruitcake, and I was saying it was cognac. It is not cognac. It is brandy.
Okay.
Brandy, equally strong. Like
right, it's still
a
punch.
So it is brandy, not cognac, if you're going to try to make.
Did I say I was going to taste that on the show?
You did. I told her
had it.
She was excited at first, but then she's like, I probably won't make any because I can't eat it.
That's right.
Because she can't have anything with alcohol.
Now they have these fake brandies and scotches and without alcohol. Well, you can get the taste without the alcohol.
That's I suggested. I'm like, we could just burn the alcohol off of the brandy.
Yeah.
But
we'll try.
We'll see. I think just the idea that you're going to try it might be enough for her to give it a shot.
This pastry of what we were talking about, this.
I don't see how that would be possible. No, no, maybe. I don't know. You got to be able to buy it, because usually when you see the people giving it as gifts, it's like wrapped up and stuff.
Right, that's what I mean.
So maybe you can buy it. Yeah.
If Kelly does not want to make it, we'll purchase it.
We're gonna buy some. It'll be fantastic. All right. And okay, we can give it a try. It's just
you don't even want to think about it.
It really is. I just don't like it. But I can't even say I don't like it. I can't even bring myself to try it. Like, it's like, no, it's not. But anyway, if you want to go for it, go for it.
Everything else I'm going to do on this.
That's right. You're going to be like, you're like my stunt man. Like, here, try some of this.
I know what I signed up for.
That'll be it. Okay. So that is the inaugural episode of.
You were wrong.
I was wrong. And you were right. See, I can say it. It's on tape
once
now.
Once decade.
once in a great while. So now we can move on to what has become a fan favorite, the book report.
My God. People are screaming in the streets.
People are clamoring for my insight into these literary masterworks.
What do we got this week?
So we're doing 2 at a time because I'm sick of doing the dog ones.
Now, this is not, if they're bad, you're going to tell us, right? I mean, you're going to say, don't read this. Well,
yes. Okay. One of these, I'm going to say exactly that.
Oh, really? Okay.
The other, I'm going to say, I didn't even read it because I already read 3, but I'll say the name because we spent $12 on the thing, I guess. So, first one is Dogs, Bumps, and Babies by Aileen Stevenson.
Love her.
First of all, phoning it in with the cover. Everybody else has got dogs, babies, right there. Cute pictures. Aileen, okay. No, it's not going well.
Get better, Eileen.
So, a guide to preparing your dog for life with your baby.
Okay.
This woman's an idiot. No, it's no good.
So it equals the cover. It's bad.
No, I don't like it. Disappointed. Do not read. I would.
Is there a reason why? What honestly, is she saying?
So all the other books kind of approached it from the standpoint of the way you train a dog.
Okay.
Fundamentals of that. None of basically. Didn't come at it from that direction at all. Very unconventional. I just didn't, as I read it.
It didn't pique
if you're reading something like this and you're like, no, that's bullshit. Like, it's not worth it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this one, we had 4 stars, got 4 rattles. That's right. 4 rattles for the first one that we did. And then the second one I like because of the audio link.
Yes.
The link for the downloadable baby sounds. Good idea. This one, nah. I would one rattle.
One rattle.
Only because I don't know why.
Because they took time to make
They took the time to print it. So
one rattle.
That's it. So dogs, bumps, and baby. I wouldn't bother with that. Sorry, Aileen.
Sorry.
And the last one, because I read all the others.
Sure.
I didn't read this, and neither did Kelly. I'm like, can tell me what to say about this? She's like, I didn't read it. Oh, okay.
I saw the movie now,
but
I did see the movie.
Okay, but I like this one because at least the name is good and cute picture on the cover. Please don't bite the baby. Please don't bite the baby, and please don't chase the dogs.
Would you? Now, why didn't you read that first?
Because I listened to my wife and she handed me I just finished that. She'd read it. Gotcha. She's way ahead she's ahead of me in the reading list.
You were following.
I was, yes. So this one is by Lisa J. Edwards, best-selling author of A Dog Named Boo.
Dog Named Boo.
Not familiar with the work, but there's this one. Can't tell you if you want to try it out or not. And
great name.
Post and a cute, really cute kid.
Look at that hair.
Very cute.
Yeah, look at that hair.
And then there's the dog. So that's going to be it for book report instances about dog books. We're done with the dog books, and now we'll be able to move on to actual.
If we were smart, we would have done like 4 bones and 3 bones with the dogs.
That's true. We could have done that.
But we're moving on now. Now we're back to rattles.
We are moving on from the dog books.
You've learned Yes.
I do that. Look, the first book in particular, I think was very worthwhile. Yeah. And again, because it was very tactical, do this. Gave you stuff that will build your confidence, make you feel more comfortable. And then the second one was largely the same kind of an approach, but it had the downloads of the sounds, which we have not tried yet, but we'll probably be doing that soon. So I think it's going to be good.
It was worth it.
Yes, it was definitely worth it.
Cool.
But happy to be reading about actual children.
And again, you guys can, if you have these books or you want, and you can tell us that, no, you guys were wrong. You should have read that book. That was awesome. Or let us know. Let us know how you guys feel about these books as well.
Absolutely.
Or if you have other ways, maybe not books, but other ways
I would love to hear
your pets with your babies.
I would love to hear more about, I've talked to some people that have brought the baby home. The funny one was the girl who cuts my hair, Danielle, great girl. She has a few children and she has little dogs, like Chihuahua dogs. And she's like, oh, don't. We're like, it's not a big deal. They'll be fine. And, bring a blanket home, let them swim. I'm like, oh, it's like, yeah. I said, they say that in the books, but we do want to make sure we're not letting the dogs up on the bed anymore. And we're going to get off the couch. And she's like, oh yeah, there was that time when whatever her dog's name, I don't remember, jumped up on the couch and landed on the baby. Oh. And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe not just completely easy, but it was, And
your dog is probably a lot bigger than a Chihuahua.
My dog,
85
he can hurt me if he jumps up on the couch and doesn't see me. So it was good. Definitely the books are worth it. But yeah, if you have a recommendation for another book, I'll put it in the queue and I'll try to get to it. But generally the ones we've reviewed have been pretty good, except for Aileen. So that's it for book report, and we can move on now to the second episode or second installment of the Silver Fox Mailbox.
Love it.
So we were getting some feedback from our listeners and hopefully by now viewers on Facebook. Also, though, I've been out and kind of trying to engage with fatherhood and parenting forums on Reddit and on X and different contributors on those platforms. Yeah. And so I asked a question on Reddit the other day about we're kind of coming into the third trimester. What do the experienced dads remember about that? And what are their recommendations? And what do I need to look out for? And we got a bunch of good responses. But there was one from a Redditor whose name is Texas Redditor. And he said, the first thing he said was, and this is very true because it's happening already. Yeah. Get good at massages. Yeah. It's going to be harder and harder for her to get around and sleep comfortably. Find some time for her to prop up on the couch and get her back or feet rubbed. Gives you both a little extra bonding time. Beyond that, my best advice, and this I think is a good idea and something that I will be having to get to, take responsibility for the logistics of delivery. Make sure the bug out bags are packed way ahead of time. Make sure you got a birth plan written out. Right. I don't know if I'll do the birth plan. Make sure the car seat is installed and ready to go. Is somebody coming to watch the house or feed a pet? Because we're going to have somebody take care of the dogs while we're doing that stuff.
My kids.
Does family know? Yep, that's right. Does family know when to show up at the hospital and what to do when they arrive? Do you have food stocked, et cetera, et cetera? Make a list and knock it out. So I think that's great. That's great advice. So thank you to Texas Redditor. But I did want to ask, so did you, it was a while ago, but did you have a bug out bag ready and packed and all that stuff, or you just knew your family was going to be kind of swoop in and take care of everything?
Now this is going back 23 plus years. I think at this point we did not have it ready.
Okay.
23. We got closer and closer. Yeah. The doctors will tell you, hey, get home, get a bag ready. Yeah. We knew where we were going. We knew what vehicle. Yeah. We knew all that. We would go to the exams and all that to the hospital. So we knew the route, the best route to get there. We did that. Right. It's weird because you think it's going to go one way and it never does. You think, oh, this is the day it's going to happen. I'm going to be sitting home and everybody's going to be ready and I'm going to get the things. But in general, it can happen at 3 a.m. and you're just getting up from sleep and you have no idea what's going on and you're freaking out. And so the more you have, the better.
Planned and prepared.
But I'll tell you this. I think they still do it. If you bring your car and the seat to AAA, there's a certain time that they will inspect it and make sure it's on correctly.
That you have installed correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very important. They do it, I don't know if it's once or twice a year, or you can call them up and ask. They'll have officers.
Yep.
And they'll check your car. They'll look at it. And so that's a cool thing that happens. But being ready, we were ready, but you're never really ready. As long as you got your stuff and you know the route you're going, reliable car. That's one thing. Yep. And the worst thing is also, I don't know if you're going to fall into it, but the weather.
Yeah.
Yours is in March.
Yeah, beginning of March.
So, I mean, it could be here and there. Yeah. So I didn't have to deal with that, but I could just imagine you're already nervous and there's a storm out there.
Oh, yeah.
That's...
that would be scary.
But we were ready as much as we could.
Sure.
I mean, we had the clothes ready. We had our route ready. Our family, obviously, we didn't have to even ask. You knew they were going to be around.
Right.
When we got home, both mothers were there. My mother,
nice.
Her mother, and then with my brothers and everybody. So we had that support. But it's going to be nerve-wracking as it is. So if you can get that list down, you're golden. Yeah.
Yeah, being prepared with stuff like that.
Yeah,
will be
the more you're prepared,
I could be
obviously,
excited
with
about.
anything, the better, right?
Yeah. No, I think that's going to be good.
You guys, you'll take that to heart, right? You'll have everything.
Yeah. There's so much. Like I'm wondering how. I think things are going to start happening fast and furious. Right now, there's not a lot going on. Like as far as pregnancy and development stuff, we have a scan coming up, the next big one. So there isn't a whole lot of that to worry about. But yeah, I think as we start getting closer, it's going to start coming fast and furious.
Now I have this to throw in there. My first was 3 weeks early.
Really?
So we weren't ready for it.
I did not know that.
So this is just reminded me when you. So the day that we went to the hospital for Natalie, we were 3 weeks out, and my wife and I, Trina and I, were at the mall shopping.
Okay.
And I'm a goofball, and I was making her laugh, and and I think we had like Hyde's hot dogs or something that day, and she was burping it up, and she was kind of like okay, and at that point the doctor says, the more walking you might induce, so we didn't want to do a lot of that because it's still 3 weeks out, but we were at the mall and I said something. We left the mall and we went to, back then there was a store called Ames. It was like a Kmart or remember Ames?
Yes.
And we were looking at probably more baby stuff, for the room and stuff. And I probably started dancing in the aisle or saying something stupid. And Trina laughed. She was like, "Oh my gosh!" And she goes, "Oh my God, I'm peeing my pants." Well, she didn't pee her pants, did she?
Wow.
So we got and still were so new to this. We still didn't know. We went home. She thought she peed her pants, and
that's fantastic.
And things started happening. Unfortunately, her mother, because it's 3 weeks out, was nowhere near the hospital. She already had her day plan, and she was not there.
Okay.
So my mother
was there.
Was in replacing her mother.
Wow.
So my mom got to be in the delivery room. So it happened quickly. Like I said,
that's funny.
We were prepared, but we can't be prepared for everything. So we were 3 weeks early.
Wow.
And everything just went out the window. Right? It's like,
that's funny.
Yeah. So he was 3 weeks early.
I think from now on at all your shows, you should be introduced as the labor-inducing comedy of Carlo Russo. That is fantastic.
If you're early, late, just have me come over.
Yeah. There you go. And, we'll do that.
I have a DVD.
Week 39. Do your 10-minute set. That's funny.
So that was fun. So that just reminded me, Natalia was 3 weeks early, and everything that we planned went out the window. We're like, my God, it's happening now.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
I think, being prepared will be important. Mm-hmm. So the other one that stood out, we asked on Facebook for ideas and advice and like kind of hacks and best practices.
Sure.
And Christine, one of our top fans on Facebook.
We've heard from Christine before.
Yes, we have. So Christine said, sleep when the baby sleeps.
Sure.
Accept help when it's offered, because there is nothing wrong with getting help.
Yep.
Order takeout. Christine is like one of my favorite people already. Order takeout, watch a movie, clean the house later, tell your wife every day she's beautiful, enjoy every, all caps, minute, because your kids grow up too fast. And I think that's...
She is so 100% on the money.
Especially the takeout. But no, I think that's also great advice. And it's funny. I have found myself, I never understood people would say, oh, women, they're so beautiful when they're pregnant. I was I never got it.
Figured it out.
No. And now I'm like, look how cute you are.
Yeah, they're just adorable.
Yeah, she is. She's adorable. Yeah, we went over.
Tell your doctor that.
Yeah.
The one that looked at you nasty when you thought you were making fun of your wife's weight.
There was absolutely.
If you know what we're talking about, we love you.
Yeah,
if you know what we're talking about, you are the OGs.
You're down. We were over at my sister's for dinner the other day, and we're just like getting ready to leave. I don't know. I'm like, look how cute she is. I can't help it. But anyhow,
sleep when the baby sleeps. Yeah, but at the same time, it's so hard because it's like you have this moment, like, okay, what do I need to do? That's tough, right?
Can I get something done? Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And what can I catch up on? And it does make sense, even though you have things to do. Get that sleep.
Yep.
Take that moment. Say, you know what? That can wait. Right now, the baby's sleeping. I have to be sleeping as well, because when the baby gets up, then I have to be alert and have energy. And so that is, nobody wants to do it. I don't know why. Maybe because it's like, and the nice thing is with family around, I remember Trina sleeping even when the baby wasn't, because we had her mother or my mother or something. Or me, I would come home and she would just hand off the baby.
Yep.
I remember it was like clockwork. It was, we had it down.
Yeah.
And she would have the baby throughout the day, and people come in and out. And then when I came home, that's when she really slept.
Right.
And she would just hand me the baby and
out like a light.
Yeah, she'd be out. And the cool thing is there's a period of time when the baby just sleeps.
Right.
Right. So you just that's when you can watch your TV and kind of have like a little normal, like
a taste of what it used to be
bad.
like.
Yeah, I can do this. And then in 6 weeks or 4 weeks, it all changes.
Right.
But at that moment, when the baby's sleeping all the time, that's when you can catch up on things. You're like, I can handle this. This is not bad. And regroup. And that's what I've learned. It's just like when she's handing it to me, I'm like, well, you're handing me a baby, but it's going to sleep anyway. So I would just get something to eat.
Yeah.
And they always say, take off your shirt, skin to skin.
Skin to skin.
And we did that. And I would just turn on the TV and just the baby sleeping. And you watch the baby more than the TV. You're just staring at this child. You know what I mean?
Instead of watching.
You're not watching it. And you're just looking going, how did we make this?
How did this happen?
How did,
That's funny.
It's the coolest thing. But yeah, if you can get some sleep.
My sister, Lucille, her daughter, she was telling me a story about the being tired thing that basically she said if she had my nephew first and then my niece later, and she said if they had been reversed, my nephew never would have been born because she was she was one that it was needed to eat every couple hours, but my nephew I think he was almost 10 pounds, 9 pounds 10 ounces, something like that. And so you stuck a bottle in him, eat it, that was it, and then back to sleep. With her daughter, with Jenna, not so much, right? Every 2 hours, wake up hungry, but she would take her time, and not, it would take, it was like a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour to go through a bottle. So she was getting absolutely no sleep. And after a few months, people would say, gee, you look like you're a little, and I would just burst into tears. I haven't slept.
I know.
So,
it's tough.
That's got to be hard.
But as she always also said, time goes by, they grow up so fast. When you're in the moment, you think, this is forever.
Never going to end. Yeah.
This will never end. I will always smell like poop and pee. I will never have any good clothes that doesn't have a stain on it. But you're in that moment. And then all of a sudden now, again, I jump, and it feels like it was yesterday. mine's 23 and 18, you know?
Yep.
And take it for what everything. You take it all in, do it all.
Yep.
You're only going to be tired for a little bit of time.
Yep.
You're gonna go to sleep. Eventually, it's gonna be.
Eventually
your
sleep.
life goes back to normal.
Yeah.
You and the child can take naps because you're an old fart.
Yep.
And you're both gonna have to go down.
I like a good nap.
Exactly.
We're
gonna need naps.
We can do that.
You guys can have that in common.
That's it.
Nice.
That sounds okay
Kelly
to me.
can feed you both.
That's right.
Put you in a bag.
That's it. That sounds like a great evening to me.
I love it.
That's it. So again, thank you to
keep them coming.
Texas Redditor and Christine. Thank you very, very much. We'll cover some others, I'm sure, as we get more coming in.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question about this?
Sure.
Did your parents have help? Did your mother ever say like, "Oh, your grandmother was here," or did they have to do this on their own?
Well, I think it depends on
what side of the family,
on which kid.
Okay.
Right. So I think when my brother was born, my parents were living upstairs from my grandmother.
Okay.
And my grandmother was no help.
She was the one that.
She was miserable. Like she was like, basically like once they had the baby, my brother, she was like, you got to get out. Like I can't, like she was like, didn't want to hear the kid crying. Not a great woman.
Okay. No help there.
No help there. But it's funny because my family there was my aunt and my uncle and my dad. My dad was the oldest. My aunt lived with my grandmother. Right. So she never had a family, never had kids. My uncle had his family. So my uncle's kids, my cousins, like they talk about my grandmother in a completely, like they had a completely different experience. Completely different. Like literally one time we had a little get together and my cousin is talking about my grandmother and my wife Kelly's like, really? This doesn't sound at all like what? And I'm like,
this is not like your stories. So she just gave up, or she was
not. She was one of those people who came to America but never really wanted to.
Right.
My father reminded her of her husband, who she was not fond of, and my uncle reminded her of her brother, who she loved.
Gotcha. Oh my God. How deep is that, huh?
It was, all these stories always come back to food. As a little kid, we would go to my grandmother's house and I wouldn't eat. And I remember my mother like, you can't keep doing that. Like, why won't you eat when you're here? This was before I was even in school. And I was like, because when we're there and we eat, when Uncle Johnny shows up, while we're eating, better food comes out. And just from a fairness standpoint, as a little kid, I would see that and be like, no, okay, you don't want to give me the good food. I don't want any of your food.
Wow.
Right. So, and that's the way it would be. It was literally like, that kind of. Well, like the example with my brother. When my brother was born, get out. I can't have a kid. I can't have a baby upstairs from me. My nerves can't take it. My father and mother move out. My uncle moves in with his wife. She has my cousin. They live there for years.
Wow.
And it's like,
so she wasn't even faking it. She wasn't even trying to hide it.
Absolutely not. No, she
wow.
It was straight up.
Because you didn't have that experience, you know?
No, I would always get the stories from my siblings about my mom's mother was a wonderful woman. She was great, and they have nothing but good things to say about her, but she passed away before I was born. So I never had a nice grandmother. I had I used to refer to her as my evil grandma Nani. That was it.
It's funny to speak about grandparents. My grandparents, my grandfather died before I was born, Carlo, what I was named after. And my grandmother moved here with us when we immigrated. Oh, okay. She died a year and a half, 2 years in.
Okay.
So I really didn't know her because I was a child myself. Yeah. And then my two grandparents on my father's side, they were alive into my teens, but they lived in Italy, so I didn't hang out with them.
Right, you didn't get to see them.
So I had really no grandparent experience.
Yeah.
So my older aunts were my
Yep.
They were like my grandmother.
Yep.
My one aunt, my one mom's sister was the oldest, who brought us here.
Right.
Who was our sponsor. She was kind of like my grandmother.
Like a grandma.
But I haven't had that at all. So I think we have that in common.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we don't.
No, my mom's dad, he passed away when I was very young, but I do remember him, and Pappy was fun. He was in it. He would, I remember as a little kid, we go over to his house and I would sit on his lap, on his rocker, a little stickly rocker, and we would watch TV, and we would watch The Price is Right. And he loved The Price is Right, and he loved Popeye. And he always he liked Popeye cartoons, and we would watch Popeye.
Yeah, I think that was a very European thing, because I think my father loved Popeye.
It's interesting.
Everybody knew Popeye. Yeah.
Yeah. He loved
Because he was on
Popeye.
a boat, and we were all shipped over on the boat. I don't know. They're all fishermen and salesmen.
Pappy loved Popeye. Nani didn't love anybody. It was, or at least nobody on my side of the family. It was comical.
But that's fun. That's crazy. The same family having two totally different stories and experiences with the same woman.
Well, yeah. I even when my uncle was still alive, he passed away a few years ago, and he was great. My Uncle Johnny was great, but he would talk about his mother, and he would talk about her like she was this delicate flower, this one. And I was
so they obviously didn't see what you guys went through.
No, she
wouldn't show that.
She treated them with kindness and love, and
they didn't notice how you guys were treated, or she wouldn't show that.
I think they somehow they must have understood that it was different.
They had to feel something.
Yeah, because it was just there was always conflict.
And these brothers got along, right? Your dad and
off and on. Yeah, it's like they would go. It was
so Italian.
Yeah, no, very much so. Yeah, mostly. They loved each other. My uncle was, when my dad, it was nearing the end of his life, and in the home, he was there every Sunday. He was really focused on family and very supportive of things like that. In a very, very nice, very traditional way. No, I think it was just there was a complete disconnect with how she treated them and how she treated us. Yeah.
So getting back to the question, the email though, get help when you can. I'm assuming your mother didn't get a lot of help.
No, I don't think so. Now, by the time I came along, she had my sisters.
She had the whole family. They're all grown.
Yeah, my sisters did everything they did everything for me.
So do you look at your sisters? Do you look at her as like more motherly, or
I think she would like that.
We know that.
I think it's interesting because.
And I only say this because of age.
Because it's right. As a little kid, when I would go someplace with my sister, people just assumed I was their mom. Absolutely. They were my mom. Yep. So there was that. I think there's a feeling like that from my older sister, Paula. They're both older, but the older of the two sisters. But I see, we're very close.
Absolutely.
Talk to her every day.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that way. I feel like she's my sibling.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I think weirdly though, with my brother, who I did not spend as much time with as a little kid.
He's 20 years older.
He's 20 years older.
Yeah.
But I think just because of being a guy and looking up to your big brother, he was a god to me. He was it. Yeah. He was absolutely. I idolized him the way I think most kids
was their daddy
idolize their father.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very much so.
I told this to my older brother because coming into a family that doesn't speak English, and you can't really say your feelings, and as much as we speak Italian, we really don't. We speak enough where we can live with our family and get across what we want to get across, but we can't sit down and talk to them one-on-one with your dad because the language barrier is just
deep conversations. You don't.
And he's not that person anyways.
Right.
So my mother would be great at that, but the language barrier's there where you can't really sit down and confess all your feelings.
Yeah.
And my brother, that was the only parental person that I was afraid of. I was like, because he would check on my school. He would know all the, he would talk to the teachers. He spoke English. So I had to worry about him like worrying about a father.
Yeah.
And I told him the other day, I was like, I was more worried about you finding out what I did than mom and dad. I could care less what they thought because they were part of the problem, with the language and how they, the old school ways of raising us. Yeah. Where I was afraid, I looked at my brother Pete as my father.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting.
Again, I know he's my brother. Yeah. I also have that brotherly. He's my best friend. So
how much older is Pete?
Not that he's. I'm 56. He'll be 59.
Okay, so he's only 3 years older. Yeah. But no, it's interesting with the with the siblings. Yeah. How you end up with that, but help wise, what the help we will have is, I think I have my sister here. Sure. Lucille, I think, is going to probably want to come from Texas to help when the baby's born.
I'm sure.
My brother won't do anything. but
he'll send you a nice thumbs up.
Like, everything okay?
But that's okay.
And that's fine. That's fine. No, but it'll be good. We'll have some.
Well, you got all of us, and
that's right.
And we have the podcast.
Yeah.
When you don't know what to do, you just listen to the podcast.
That's right.
That's right. There's my answer.
I can call Christine and the Texas Redditor
exactly
and get some more good advice.
Yeah.
So. Well, that is the Silver Fox mailbox, and I guess we're going to take a little break.
Yeah, let's do some. We'll take some photos.
I think we're going to need to produce commercials. So when I say we're going to take a break, that it's going to cut to yeah.
Well, we do have that commercial of the contest, right? You're gonna,
I was working a little bit. Yeah. We might put that in there. So you might see a commercial next, or we might just transition smoothly into a Crash Test Daddy.
Am I going to have to dress up in that? Am I going to have to put something on?
This is where you earn your pay.
The nice thing about the podcast is I come over. I don't know really what he has planned until I come here. I have the sheet or sheets of our agenda.
We're going to talk about this. Put on a cup.
Yeah. Get into a dog suit. Yep. Wear a cup.
Yep.
But so we're going to be doing that right now. Name the baby.
I am Frank Serio of the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Carlo Russo. My wife and I are expecting our very first child, a little girl due in March, and we've selected a name that I cannot tell you. Why? Well, because this relationship is in the internet and you could be a lunatic. So, just for fun, I decided to give you a chance to
name the baby.
To name my baby. In the comments below or in email, submit names and you'll have a chance to pick the name that I will be forced to call my little girl for the remainder of my podcasting career.
Might not be that long.
Fair enough. Then we'll vote. We will let democracy run its course, select a clear winner, and much like elections recently, half of you will be left confused and bitter and deeply disappointed in each other. So let's
name the baby.
Name the baby. Here we are, returning with Crash Test Daddy.
My favorite.
This is where you get to do your thing.
Okay.
So I thought this time for Crash Test Daddy, rather than just diving right in, we would give you an opportunity to try to guess what it is.
Okay.
You're going to tell. Now, the only obvious giveaway is that the box says Lululemon all over it. But what are your thoughts? What do you think is in here?
I'm okay. I know in the previous podcast, we were speaking about Kelly's new love of leggings.
Yes.
Now, Lululemon, I believe, is part of that.
They are
known
the high end
of that
athleisure for women.
Exactly.
And they do have. Now, I will say, I have not for you, but I have so much respect for Trina. I won't ask you to wear leggings. Or try them on.
I don't know if I would do that. I don't know.
So it is not. We can rule out leggings.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say maybe it's a Can I ask questions?
I'll give you 3.
First of all, can I shake the box?
Yes, you can. That you can do whatever you want to the box, and 3 questions.
Okay.
Do you do this with people? Because I love making people guess stuff.
Do you?
I do it with Kelly. Kelly hates it. She's like, I don't want to play the game.
I don't think I do that. I think Trina might go, guess what? I don't know. I always
like to it because I was good at guessing when I was a kid.
Right.
And I like to guess. I like the game. I do it with people that work for me all the time. I don't know if they hate it, but they won't tell me.
So this feels like there's not a lot of room when I'm shaking. It's very tight to the box.
Fair enough.
Okay. So like you would say like a pillow or a blanket that is wrapped. That's filling the box. So first question: can I wear this? Not me personally. I mean, do people wear this?
Yeah, technically yes.
Technically,
yes.
Is this for the baby or Kelly? Is that a question? Yeah, that you can answer.
I think it is more for the parents than the child.
Okay. Is this for leaving the house or sleeping?
It is for mobile activities, for leaving the house. So you're starting. It's interesting watching you at work. So yeah, but now you only got one left. So we've established.
I think
it can be worn, and it is for out of the house, not sleeping.
Okay, I'm gonna say that it's a diaper changing, holding, like baby things, wipes. What's that called? Like a backpack or something to hold all the baby stuff.
I think you got it. It is a diaper bag.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what it is. It is. Well, now, of course, Lululemon, it has to be. You go ahead and dig in. They call it this is called the Lululemon New Parent Backpack.
Oh my God, I'm
17L is the model.
Oh, the
17L. L is for
luxury.
Lousy. L is for luxury or Lululemon.
I'm gonna move this a little bit.
There you go. So yeah, that's a lot of evaluation went into the selection of this. There was some questions on color that Kelly was trying to get me to weigh in. I said, you just pick whatever color you like. There you go. So
you want me to open it?
Or dig right in. We want to, you don't have to get up and try it on like you did with the other stuff. But yeah, take it out of there. So I don't mind. I like the color.
Yes.
So it's a backpack, obviously.
Yes.
But this has the 2 things that Kelly really liked about it is it has a smaller thing. So take the stuffing out. There's other stuff going on in there. So it has a little extra bag for supplies and things.
Absolutely.
And it has a changing pad that it comes with.
Okay.
Which might be in that other thing. I don't know. But it has a changing pad. It has the other kind of little purse thing. And it's very nice, apparently. So this is it. This is the
Lululemon changing pad.
New Parent Backpack 17L. It is $198.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, unless it's one of those in there or it's in here.
Maybe it's in that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in that thing. Yeah. Give it a try. Go right, get in the purse.
I'm going to get in
or whatever
there.
that is.
Get in there. So that I feel something in here.
Yeah.
There it is.
So there's a little pad.
So we have the mat.
So the little changing, little baby yoga mat
For exercise.
From that, so they can do Pilates.
This is very cool. You're going to need this because you'll be changing the baby in many different places that you don't want to use their stuff. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want
your child to touch that surface.
Exactly.
So you can whip that thing out.
Excellent. It's really nice. I want to let you feel how this whole thing feels like that.
Okay.
It's really, really nice.
And it seems, it feels like the kind of material that will clean up very
absolutely,
nicely.
because there will be stuff on this.
There'll be all kinds of things.
So
$198.
Now again, you guys
keep this in mind when I ask you to guess what the new check please is later in the podcast. $198.
$200. Now again, can I tell you what I used?
Sure.
I didn't go with $200.
You had
I didn't go Lululemon.
It was a JanSport, like
it was a Wegmans bag. No, a grocery bag. So when I got a job at a bank,
right
at the time, now we're going
back. If you opened an account, you got a bag.
Yeah, you get a baby.
And a baby.
23 years ago, and then 18 years ago. Back then, the hottest thing was that man purse. Over the strap. Remember the man? Everybody?
I never participated in that fad, but okay.
For some,
now not a fanny pack.
Not a fanny pack, but a true
a man purse.
A man purse.
Okay.
Okay. So I believe one day, it might have been Christmas, it might have been a birthday. My wife thought, you have all this stuff for work. This looks manly enough, but you're still wearing a purse. And she gave me one, and I would put my my paperwork in there and whatever I needed for the bank.
Yeah.
So when I quit the bank and we had our second, I turned that into our carrier.
Okay.
So I had the strap, and then I would put the pad in there, all the stuff, and it was great. So I went from looking weird with this purse to I'm the daddy of the year. I'm walking around, look cool, got this thing,
that's
Italian
awesome.
Look, very European look.
Now, see, I appreciate a nice bag, like my laptop bag for work.
Gorgeous,
nice. I like it. It could be described as a man purse.
I was actually going to say, I remember when we worked together.
The nice tan leather. Yeah. I still use it, and they hold up very, very well. What I keep getting pushed in my social media feeds now is all the tactical dad stuff. So it looks like you're going to the gun range, right? But it's made for literally. It's like
I remember.
It looks like you're either gonna go to like a baby or us with your kid, or you're gonna go be deployed to Iraq. Like you can't tell.
So this is, and the cool thing is with this, it does have the backpack.
And is that for straps. One of the things I always know, like? Is it for shotgun shells? Like, what is that for?
What is that? Hold that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look at that. What is that for?
I don't know. What are you going to stuff in there?
It does look like gun shells.
That's it. When you need some buckshot.
But this is cool because you're going to need your hands.
Yeah.
And having this on this is
the
awesome.
Backpack.
Yeah. The backpack feature. Because your hands have to be free. Yeah. So,
but I'm gonna look. I like it. What I'm picturing is that the size of this thing and that kind of a shoulder strap. I'm gonna look like King Kong with a normal size backpack.
So this is for both of you, of course.
Sure. Until I get the tactical dad pack.
You're gonna yeah. So that's cool. So $200, right around $200.
It is the new parent backpack. I think it's funny that they specify for new parents because experienced parents would never spend $200 on a bag.
Like I said, I went to my bank man purse and I made it into that.
That's it.
Well, that's a good buy. It's good material. It's good quality.
It seems like it is well made.
And like you said,
and it does. This stuff seems like it's going to hold up. Yeah. So that is it. The mystery box.
I'm kind of I'm doing pretty good at this stuff. I guess out of a box.
Yeah. Yeah, you did with three questions and a shake, and you got it. That was pretty, and especially because Lululemon. When I saw it arrive, I'm like, "What the hell is this?"
Yes, I mean, at first I said the legging thing. So when you took that out, of course.
But
that was fun. You're going to use a lot of that. That's going to come very handy.
That'll be it. So that's it. So that is the Crash Test Daddy, the Lululemon New Parent Backpack 17L in chartreuse. I don't know what that color is. For $198 US. So now we will move on to what just happened.
What just happened, Frank?
So the news of the week, again, pregnancy wise, not a lot of things, weird things happening, but the nice thing is appetite going strong.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So she's eating much better. The other night we ordered pizza and this was the only time I think, ever, where Kelly had one more slice than me. I'm like, wow, like that's like normally I typically have 2 pieces, maybe 3 if I'm really hungry, and Kelly never more than one slice, right? Like she's not a big eater, and she's going back for number 3. I'm like, this
number
is
3.
Yeah, I had 2 slices, she had 3. I'm like, wow.
I've never seen.
No, I'm excited. I know that she still has challenges with the acid reflux stuff, but it's nowhere near as bad. And just to see that we're doing that. But I will say, the other day, she's on her way to work, and she's like, well, I've got to start watching because I gained 3 pounds in the last week. And I'm like, so what? Well, I should be gaining 2 pounds a week. I'm like, okay, you need to just give yourself a little room. Like, first of all, we had gone over to my sister and her husband's house, and Avi's a great cook. He did this recipe. He found a recipe in Italian.
Of course.
Okay. And it was a lasagna with a bolognese.
Oh, yes.
No cheese. It had a bechamel sauce instead of the mozzarella. It was great. It was delicious. We both had 2 pieces of. Yeah. I'm like, you had 2 pieces of lasagna last night for dinner. Like, just take it easy. Just if you're hungry, you should eat.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So that stuff has been really good. And it also, when we were coming home from somewhere the other day, we're walking in the house, as you know, you come over and it's pandemonium with the dogs. It's the same thing with us. They're a little bit more subdued with us. They're not jumping as much, but still they're scampering around, and I'm coming in and I hear this noise. I don't know, and I'm like, what was that? And Kelly goes, it was the return of Fartzilla. And I'm like, so
That's awesome.
Fartzilla has returned on occasion. Thanks to her increased appetite and eating more. But I'm very happy.
Well, you got to blame it on the baby.
Well, you know what? That's it. I'm 100%. It's all her. It's all her fault. Blame it on the corn. So I'm happy to see her.
Yes,
and doing that. So I'm trying to
sleeping's good.
She does. She sometimes has trouble getting comfortable, but with the special pillow, she does okay. Generally, yeah. Right. This whole part of the pregnancy has been pretty easy compared to the beginning. So it's good. It's been good. And
you said she doesn't eat sweets or ice creams or stuff. That's not her.
No,
it's not her jam, right?
No, she doesn't. Doesn't really have much of a sweet tooth. Yeah, gee. Imagine that. Down that it's fun now because I can get her to eat stuff. Again, Avi made these brownies, so we went home with. We didn't have any because my sister had made apple. Like an apple crumble
thing.
Yeah. And it was delicious and made from apples. Our apples. So
you put vanilla ice cream with that, or
little whipped cream.
Okay.
But it was very good. Gotcha. She had that too. But, and then they're like, here, try the brownies. And I was too full. But so the next day I'm like, it's like a novelty for me to offer, because she would always whatever it was, I would take the bigger one. And now I'm like, go ahead. And she takes the bigger one. It's so cute.
Awesome.
So it's good. And the brownies were excellent.
Welcome to our side of food.
I know it's just going to go right back.
I know.
As soon as she has the baby. She's already talking about, I got to watch my weight. No, you don't. No, you don't. But
get that baby nice and fat.
Now the thing that has come up, because she's been talking about, we talked about it a little bit in the last episode. She's been talking about how she feels, how it's hard for her to maneuver. And I'm like, it's not that, your belly's not that big. And she made the point, look, that's all happening under her ab, right? So her abdominal muscles, her core is very unstable.
Right.
And as a result now, I think her back is getting real tight. So the other morning she asked, will you rub my back? And I'm like, back to Texas Redditor saying, get good at back rubs. He was spot on. It's like, I read that and the next day.
Funny.
So I start rubbing, and the small of her back, it's like there's knuckles, like she has knots in her back. Ooh. Luckily, I was able to work them out, and that's it. But yeah, so every once in a while, she's like, you're
gonna have to work them out.
Give me a back rub, yeah. And I'm happy to do it. I think the other thing too is if she sits, like she was doing some work, she's on her laptop sitting on the couch, and she just stayed in the same position too long. and that throws it out of whack too.
Now, last one is not I'm not ruining anything. The last episode, you felt something.
Yep.
Any new feelings?
She's feeling stuff all the time.
Of course.
And I have one other time felt a little. The thing that she described to me just the other day is there was a foot sighting. Like
really? We were talking about that last week.
And so that was the first. She was excited. She's like, yeah, I think I saw something.
That's so cool.
So there was that. So working on the massages. She's trying to keep her back loose. And then the other funny thing was, so this past weekend, for about the last year, maybe a little bit longer, I started volunteering at church.
Sure.
So I do, they have you fill out the form and what you'll do. So I volunteered for all 3 masses, and then I do
Communions.
Marriage. Yeah. Baptisms, whatever you need. So I volunteered to do either greeter, usher, or reader. Okay. And so I never know, because most people, they volunteer for like whatever mass they want to go to.
Right.
But they were saying how they really need help, especially for us. So I just, all 3. And so I get moved around. Like most of the time we're going to 10 o'clock on Sunday. But sometimes
you're a floater. You're a church floater.
Literally, I'm like, put me in, coach. Like wherever you need
Wherever you need me, I'm there.
So sometimes, most of the time it's 10 o'clock. Sometimes we'll do the Saturday vigil. And most of the time I'm an usher. A couple times I've read. But they had a meeting for all of those ministries. So all the people who do greeter, usher, reader, or Eucharistic minister had a little meeting that we had to go to. So Saturday morning, I get my coffee and I go down. And months ago, in the very beginning, this would have been week 5.
Okay. Wow.
I was greeting during one mass, and there's 3 entrances at Sacred Heart where we go. Church, and I was at one of the entrances where normally I'm just out there. If I'm greeting, it's me. But Father Seep, the pastor, he's kind of a new pastor to us. He's been there about a year.
Okay.
Young guy, doing a really good job. And so he happened to be out there, and he was greeting people on that entrance. Normally he would be out front. And so when I had the opportunity, because it was very early on, I'm like, hey, Father, say a little extra prayer for me. And, I told him, my wife, and of course, he's probably maybe latter 30s, might be 40. So I'm telling him, it's our first. And you could see a little bit of, but we didn't,
a priest?
We didn't have a lot of time.
Right.
So he kind of, that was it. He was like, oh yeah, it's first for both of us. And then, people came in, he's greeting them, and that was it. So I haven't had a conversation with him in a while since we talked about that.
Sure.
So I walk in, and there's Father C before the meeting gets going, and he looks at me. I walk over and say hello. He's like, "How are things going?" And I tell him, things are going great, and give him a little update. I told him the story about the doctor and how they thought I was, and he's like, oh, he kind of chuckled at that, and then again he's like, so it's your first.
Still trying to figure that out.
How many times did I? Yeah, it's it. I didn't forget it. No, it's not like, I misplaced the one. Right. I figured I'd try again. But I thought it was kind of comical with fathers and Steve, like first one. But then we went to mass later that day, and we're going up for communion. And after mass, we're leaving, and Kelly turns to me and goes, "I think Father Steve wanted to smile at me." But he stopped himself.
That's hilarious. Thumbs up.
I thought that was cute. So we've been trying to figure out what kind of a design we want for the nursery and what we're going to do.
Okay.
And Kelly found this that I really like. So there's no overhead lighting. The room that we're going to be using as a nursery, the previous owners of the home, it was a little boy's room.
Okay.
And so there's like a track light on the one wall. It's got to come out. There's no overhead lighting.
So that was the overhead. Yep.
So I'm going to put in a couple overhead lights, but we're trying to find something for a kid's room. And Kelly found these really adorable, they look like a hot air balloon.
Okay.
But it's a light fixture. It's like 20, and then there's 2 different sizes. So I'm going to put up 2 in the corner and one of the larger ones on the other side of the room, because that's the other thing that's weird about this room is in the center of the ceiling is the access for the attic. So you can't put it right in the center where it would make sense. So we've done some work, and I think we have some solid design ideas. I immediately am trying to think of how far to take the theming, but we'll see about that. So we got some of that stuff on order. That's what just happened, and now we are on to check, please. So if you recall, our total as of the last time we did check, please, which was 2 episodes ago, was $370.08. So in 2 weeks, we're going to play another guessing game.
Okay.
Where do you think we're going to land? Okay. It took us 21 weeks to get to $370.08. Where do you think we are?
So we did the backpack.
Backpack.
I'm going to round it off to 200.
Okay.
So we're already at 570.
Okay.
You got the baby room kind of going. Did you buy paint? You said no?
No.
Okay, no paint. So the balloon things, that was probably ordered Amazon-ish. Probably.
I will say this gives away a little. Etsy is where the light fixtures are coming from.
Okay. I'm going to say some odds and ends, 780.
780 would be a good guess. Mm-hmm. The grand total is $1,077.98.
I missed a big purchase.
So the Etsy purchase, the light fixtures, they're very nice, but they're like they make them custom, I think. So that was like almost $500 just for the light fixtures. So now the totals now, Amazon used to be the leader. Etsy has leapfrogged to the top of the list. So Etsy's at $494, Amazon's about $240, Lululemon with tax comes up to $218 or $213. Target is still hanging in there at $121. So so we have crossed the first
over $1,000.
The first 1,000 in 23 weeks.
Wow. Okay. So, like at this point, we're still looking at cribs and
none of that stuff.
Nothing.
Although
not even
lots of other people I've talked to with like the bassinets and the crazy stuff say rent. If you don't think you're gonna
what they're doing now?
if you're not gonna have 3 more kids,
it's a great idea.
Then you rent instead, and you get you do it that way.
That's a perfect because you're gonna have to get rid of them.
I'd rather do that because the other solution is, as we're doing all this research, there's all these things that are multiple use, like it's a bassinet, and then it's a changing table,
car,
and then it's and then it's a sled, and I don't want to do those because they're never.
But the renting thing makes sense.
Maybe. So I don't know where do you rent them from, but I'm
sure we can find out.
I'm sure Kelly probably already has a list. But so that.
So what's it?
$1,077.98.
Okay.
So that is our latest update to check, please. But that is pretty much everything for this week for episode 6. Episode 6.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for all of your support. We've had a lot of downloads. We're on a good trajectory, and we're getting good feedback and responses from you guys. Please continue to send in. We'll hopefully in a couple weeks, we'll be able to talk about voting for what the name is that you will choose for Name the Baby. So we have that coming up. So please keep sending those in, email, comment on our socials, share the podcast with your friends if you think they'll like it. And we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
See ya.
Well, folks, that's another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast in the books. Thanks very much for tuning in and spending this time with us. We hope it was fun. If you enjoyed this week's descent into the madness of dadness, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of our future adventures. And while you're at it, give us a like and share the cast with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Carrier Pigeon, whatever you crazy kids are using. Have any hilarious parenting stories of your own? Questions about navigating fatherhood later in life, or even when normal people do it? Email us at ghdc.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to bed.